to Vedial Vagaparai. In this video, we are going to see about amino acids. Uh, this particular video is based on a JEE Main 2025 question paper, which was held on 28th January evening shift. This particular topic will be useful for students of CBSE and State Board Plus 2 courses who are taking their board examinations also. And it will be also useful for people who are taking all competitive examinations. So let's see the question first. So identify the essential amino acid from the below. So here what we see is a set of amino acids are given, and then they are asking us which among them are essential amino acids. So in order to answer this question, first let us look at the basic nomenclature of amino acids and then their classification, and then we will come back to this particular question. So when you see this particular video, you will be able to learn everything about amino acids, and it will be very useful for you as a memory for preparing for examinations. So we must know that amino acids are nothing but, the monomeric units of proteins. They're also called as building blocks of proteins. So when we talk about amino acids, we know pretty well the amino acid. From the name itself, we know it has an amino group and a carboxylic acid group. And what we see here is actually the structural representation of a alpha amino acid. In the sense, the amino group is present on the alpha carbon. So this amino acid is called as a alpha amino acid. And the R group of every amino acid is different. In the sense, all the amino acids differ in this particular position only. And 20 common amino acids are present in proteins, and these 20 amino acids differ only in this R group. So all of them are alpha amino acids, and they are different only in the side chain groups that are present in them. And coming to the configuration of these amino acids, see in this structure, the COOH is written on the right hand side, and amino group is written on the left hand side. This is because when the amino acids combines to form proteins, they combine between an acid group and an amino group. So they result in the formation of a peptide bond. And so to understand bonding and protein chain, the amino acids are represented by this particular notation. But when we are looking at the stereochemistry of an amino acid, we will look at it from the perspective of a Fischer notation or from the perspective of assigning configuration. So when we see these amino acids, when you see this particular carbon, all these three groups are different groups. So if the R is different, then the carbon is becoming a chiral carbon. So this becomes an asymmetric carbon. This carbon, alpha carbon, becomes a asymmetric carbon. Because the alpha carbon becomes an asymmetric carbon, all the amino acids, if they have a different R group, then they are all optically active. So because they are optically active, we have to assign configuration for them. We all know we will assign RS notation to us to find out the configuration of compounds. So if you are wondering what is RS and how to assign configuration, please see our earlier videos which discusses effectively on how to assign RS notation. When we are coming to biomolecules, the biomolecules are denoted by the notation L and D, because carbohydrates are denoted as D sugars, because the OH is written on the right hand side. Likewise, in case of amino acids, they are denoted as L amino acids because the NH2 group is written on the left hand side. So whenever we are writing a Fischer notation, the straight chain carbon is written in the vertical position and the other groups are written on the horizontal position. So when the groups are written on the horizontal position, the amine group is always written on the left hand side. So whenever you are writing the structure of an amino acid, we must remember we write the amine group on the left hand side. It means these amino acids have a configuration L. And when we see about the RS notation, we will see that all these amino acids have a yes configuration. So this is with respect to their stereochemistry. So as I told earlier, all the amino acids are L amino acids, they are alpha amino acids, and all of them are optically active except glycine, because in case of glycine, the R is hydrogen. So glycine is an amino acid which is CH2COOH. So glycine alone is an optically inactive amino acid. This is a very popular question in many examinations wherein they ask, is glycine optically active or inactive? So please remember, glycine is the only amino among the 20, glycine is the only amino acid that is optically inactive. All other amino acids are optically active. And besides this, all the naturally occurring, in the sense, proteins are molecules, biomolecules, which are available in nature. So all these are naturally available molecules. That is why they are called as biomolecules. So when we talk about amino acids, we are talking about these naturally occurring amino acids, and these naturally occurring amino acids are alpha amino acids. In the sense, the amino functional group is on the alpha carbon. But there are also beta, gamma, delta amino acids. In the sense, we do have synthetically made amino acids which can be having an amino group on the side chain, okay, or not on the carbon bearing the carboxylic acid group, but on the subsequent chain. But they are all man-made and they are not naturally available amino acids. So the naturally available amino acids are only 20 in number, and these are the ones which are the building blocks of proteins of both plants and animals. And we must remember, the R group or the side chain can have other functional groups. In the sense, we know amino acids have amine group and a carboxylic acid group. So besides an amine and a carboxylic group, the side chains can have other functional groups too. So as we see the other slides, we will get to understand which are the amino acids have what kind of functional groups. Let's see the nomenclature now. So the nomenclature of amino acid was given by a combined or joint commission on biochemical nomenclature, like how we have IUPAC, IUBMC is also there. So IUPAC, IUBMB is a joint commission which came up with various nomenclature for the 20 amino acids. So as I told you before itself, they are alpha amino acids. So because they are alpha amino acids, the alpha carbon has the amino functional group on it. So here what we see is the names of all the 20 amino acids, and it is very significantly given in 4 quadrant. The first quadrant is non-polar amino acids. The second is polar amino acids, then positively charged, negatively charged. In the sense, amino acids can be classified as neutral amino acids or basic amino acids or acidic amino acids. So you see these two amino acids, they have the name acid in them, aspartic acid and glutamic acid. So they are acidic amino acids. And these 3 amino acids, when you see, besides the amino functional group, that is the alpha amino group, there is also a amino group in the side chain of these acids, which are marked in green. All these 3 are extra amino group. So that is why these amino acids are called as basic amino acids. And all the other amino acids are neutral amino acids. In the sense, they have one amino group and one carboxylic acid group only. In the polar groups also, you will see only one amino group and one acid group. But here they are called polar because their side chain has other functional group. Like say here, serine has a hydroxyl functional group. Threonine also has a hydroxyl functional group. Tyrosine has a phenolic functional group. And asparagine and glutamine have a amide functional groups. So these functional groups make these amino acids polar. Whereas these amino acids which are listed here, the 10 amino acids that are listed here are non-polar, and they do not have groups that cause polarity to the molecule. Or in other words, all the amino acids exist as Zwitter ions. If you see, it exists as NH3 plus and COO minus. So in solution, because the acid group and amino group are present in the same molecule, in solution, they exist as zwitterion. So all amino acids exist as zwitterions. But then, in case of an basic amino acid, there is an extra positive charge. In case of an acidic amino acid, there is an extra negative charge. And in case of non-polar molecules, there are no charges. And in case of polar molecules, there are no charges, but then they are polar. So it is very easy for you to keep to memory the names of these 20 amino acids, because what is there to remember is 10 of them are non-polar, 5 of them are polar, 3 are basic, 2 are acidic. So if you remember these 5, it is very easy for you to rule out the others. So always keep in mind there are 3 basic amino acids, lysine, arginine, and histidine, and 2 acidic amino acids, aspartic acid and glutamic acid. So now if you see, asparagine and glutamine are derivatives of aspartic acid and glutamic acid. So but then we will list them as polar amino acids. So and then it is very easy for you to see that all of these amino acids which are non-polar have this R group replaced by an alkyl group. So you see glycine is, as I told you, it's a uh, optically inactive molecule because this carbon has 2 hydrogen atoms, whereas all other amino acids have 4 groups around the alpha carbon, and that is why they're all optically active. So it is very easy for us to name these amino acids and also write their structure too. And then besides their name, we also see these abbreviations below. So we know that proteins are actually long chains of amino acids. So long chains means they might contain more than thousands of residues of amino acids. So whenever we want to represent a protein chain or write a protein chain, writing the complete name of each amino acid will be very difficult. So the nomenclature was decided that these amino acids can be identified by a 3-letter abbreviation. So the 3-letter abbreviation is very simple. It is the first 3 letters of the particular amino acid: glycine, GLY, alanine, ALA, valine. So if you see, all of them are actually, except for isoleucine, tryptophan, all of them are actually first 3 letters of their names. So it is very easy. Then they found even the 3-letter abbreviations were too long to write. So the Joint Commission on Biochemical Nomenclature came up with a single letter abbreviation. So as student of biochemistry, we must know the single letter abbreviation of these amino acids, and many of them match up to their first letter, except for a few of them which we have to keep in mind. Like say for example, lysine is K, arginine is R, phenylalanine is F, tryptophan is W. Okay, so only a few of them, tyrosine is Y, and you have Q and N for asparagine and glutamine. Again, glutamic acid also is E, aspartic acid is D. So you see some of them have a different alphabetical notation. So there are 20. So we know we have 26 alphabets, except for 6 alphabets, all other alphabets are written here. So, and it is very easy for us to remember these names and their single letter abbreviation. So the best way to keep in memory these 20 amino acids is to remember them by their classification, that is neutral, acidic, basic. Okay, so remembering the single letter abbreviation of these 5 is quite easy also, and at the same time remembering the single letter abbreviation of the others will become easier. So we know now that amino acids have a 3-letter notation and also a single letter notation, and whatever be the notation, we should be able to relate to them. And not only that, next what we see is some of the amino acids have different functional groups. Like say for example, cysteine has a thiol functional group, methionine has a sulfide functional group, and you see histidine has a imidazole ring, and we have tryptophan having an indole ring. So these are some extra, names that you should keep in mind when you are studying about amino acids. So these are the ways in which questions could be asked. So they can ask questions on uh, classification of amino acids, which among them are acidic, basic, or neutral. They can ask which among this has a thiol group, which amino acid has an indole ring, which amino acid has an imidazole ring, which amino acid has a guanido ring. So arginine is very unique because it has a guanido ring. So these are the ways in which the questions could be asked from among the amino acids. So we must know not only their names and their three-letter and single-letter abbreviations, we must also be familiar with their structures so that we will be able to answer questions based on them. So next what we will see is about the essential amino acids. So that was a question. So we must know what are essential amino acids. So essential amino acids are those that cannot be synthesized by the body and must be obtained through the diet. So in the sense, all the proteins that our body makes is synthesized in the body, and it is not the protein of the food that we eat. The protein of the food that we eat is broken down into amino acids, and each protein is synthesized in the body as per the requirements. So when we are uh, taking certain food items, and if these food items are not having these amino acids in them, then our body will become deficient in these amino acids. In the sense, the proteins that require these amino acids may not be synthesized, and that will lead to deficiency diseases and other complications. So these amino acids which are listed here, so there are 10 of them, and these 10 of them are called as essential amino acids. So among the 20 amino acids, 10 amino acids are essential amino acids. In the sense, they must be provided through diet. Our body does not have the ability to synthesize them. It means all the others can be synthesized in our body. So the other amino acids which are not listed here are called as non-essential amino acids. In the sense, our body has the capacity to synthesize them. So these amino acids should be supplemented through our diet only, and especially arginine, it is needed in small children, but in adults it is not needed. So all of these amino acids are listed as essential amino acids. So how do I remember the names of these essential amino acids? So I have highlighted the last three for us to easily keep to memory whatever we are learning. So among the 10, all the three basic amino acids, lysine, arginine, and histidine, are essential amino acids. And the two acidic amino acids are non-essential amino acids. So the five of them are ruled out. And among the polar amino acids, only 309 is essential. All others are not needed. So we have 3 here and 4 here. So all the remaining are neutral amino acids. So this is how it is easier for us to remember the names of these essential amino acids, and also we will have a fairly good classification of them. So lysine, arginine, and histidine are basic amino acids. Threonine is a polar amino acid, and all the other amino acids are neutral amino acids. And remembering the names is also easy because leucine, isoleucine, methionine, tryptophan, phenylalanine. So in this box, you see, you can screenshot this page and keep it to memorize this particular set of essential amino acids. So leucine, isoleucine, methionine, tryptophan, phenylalanine. All of these are essential. And in this first set, it is valine only. So we have the basic amino acids, then we have all these valine and threonine. So these are the 10 amino acids that we have to remember that they are essential amino acids. That is all. So simple. So now let's go back to the question. So when we see the question, now we know that it's very easy. Now I know the list of essential amino acids. So in this essential amino acids, valine is there. Proline is not an essential amino acid. Lysine is a basic amino acid. Threonine is also an amino acid which we saw. which will be given as an essential, but whereas tyrosine is not an essential amino acid. So the answer for this particular question is A. So valine, we have lysine and threonine as the essential amino acid that is listed here. And so A, option A is the answer, whereas proline and tyrosine are non-essential amino acids. So it's very fairly simple and easy, and only so much is there for you to learn for amino acids in your CBSE or state board courses when you are thinking about amino acids. So it's very easy and simple, and this video will help you to keep in memory all these topics, and you can score very good marks on this particular topic, or any question based on this topic you can answer very easily, because there's only so much to learn under this particular title. I hope you all understood. Thank you.